Hello and thank you for joining me for attempt number 2 of Ker Nethalas. For those of you who joined me in the first one, it didn't go so well. Only made it through about 5 rooms before succumbing to the horrors of the necropolis. A nasty group of rot walkers ended the life of Eddie the Razor. Kind of a thief, rogue, stealthy character. Very cool character. I enjoyed playing him, and I would like to have played him longer, but that is kind of the name of the game. It's a brutal game world, and there's a lot of different things that can kill you. Sanity and afflictions like the rot affliction, poison, just everything, every kind of nasty thing is in the necropolis. Well, with that being said, I'm very hopeful for the second playthrough, and also I enjoy this kind of game. I enjoy games that are pretty brutal, pretty difficult, and when you do have a character that ekes out a bit of success, it's that much more rewarding. And so this is really right up my alley. So even if I'm losing or things are going badly, that's the kind of game that I like. That's what I enjoy. So I enjoyed myself very much in the first game. But yeah, as I said, I'm hopeful for this second one. I want to attempt to get a little bit further to reach some of those goals that each character has, and I'd like to do that with you guys, so I'm gonna do another attempt for sure. And there is one thing that I'm gonna change to give us a little bit more survivability, and there is actually a death rule in the game that allows you to take a certain amount of damage and suffer some other consequences in place of actually dying, of actual full character death. So I'm going to implement that rule in the event that we meet our death before achieving at least one of the goals, one of the character goals, which each character has 2 goals on the character sheet. So before we've achieved at least one of those goals, if we do meet our end, I will implement that death rule, which is already in the book, and it's nice that that's already included. So I will be using that death rule on this playthrough, and I imagine it will have a little bit more exploration and a little bit more content to this playthrough due to that. So something to help us stay alive in the necropolis. Another thing I'm going to be doing on this playthrough is the random map generation. I really like the random map generation, and I wanted to bring that into the playthrough. So got some grid paper here, and you'll have to put up with my terrible drawing skills, but I'm going to try my best to paint color in the lines and make it nice and simple for me. But to bring in that random element of the map generation is really fun, and it does add a little bit more to the game because you also have the corridors and things of that, other things that kind of are more randomized. And also too, there is some cool flavor text and stuff with the descriptions. I won't be using that, but definitely you should get the game for yourself, and you should play with these descriptions because they're really nice. And when I play alone off camera, I like to read these. It adds a lot to the experience, so it's really fun. And then a final note before we get into the character creation for our new character here. I have a lot of different player aids. As you know, this game, Ker Nethalas, it's pretty crunchy is a word that I've heard solo RPG people use. I'm just starting to learn some of the terminology that's used in the solo RPG community, but I believe it's a term that refers to games that are kind of heavy in stats and require a bit of calculations, consulting tables, and various references, and things are a bit more concrete due to that kind of nature of the game, which I love. I love games like that. I have many off-screen player aids, and I may not necessarily always show those on camera just to kind of move things along, because I like to keep the the action kind of fluid and moving along, and I try to keep the videos pretty concise. Let me know what you guys think of that, if you like or don't like that I have all these kind of player aids off screen and that I'm not really bringing them on and showing you like, okay, I'm reading this rule, that kind of thing. So just let me know what you think about that. Okay, so let's get to the character creation, and I'm going to show you our new character here, Jedd. Once again, using the lovely artwork of Katsuya Terada. This is artwork that he did for some wizardry games, which I'm a huge fan of the wizardry series. All the different old school ones and the English ones and Japanese ones. I'm a fan of all of them. They're all great. And it's something that really kind of ties me to Ker Nethalas, actually, because it has a lot of sort of vibe and feel of wizardry to it. So I enjoy using these characters from him. And something that I might do on my channel often is to implement artwork or things from video games and bring those into my solo RPGs. There's a lot of different influences and ideas from video games that I think would be fun to bring into my solo sessions, so I hope you guys will enjoy that, and I'll continue to do more with that in the future. Alright, so Jedd, as you can guess from the look and style, he's got something of a fighter brawler type going on, and actually he is going to be a brawler, and the brawlers are unarmed experts, and they do have different fist weapons that they can use. And so he has a claw, and one really cool thing about the claw is that it has a parrying ability which gives you +10 on defensive checks, so that's really cool. Looking forward to using that. And on top of that, the claw is quick, so you get +10 on initiative as well, which I love. I love quick characters that can win initiative and get the first strike, so I'm looking forward to using that. And as the brawler, his unarmed skill, he starts with a D6 unarmed, but I believe usually it's D4 if you do not have this brawler passive. And he also gets a +D4 when using fist weapons, so we're also going to be getting a +D4 with this claw. So pretty beefy weapon right out of the gate there, I think. And he's got a tier 1 ability here, which is a feint, and this is skill is a reaction to an attack, and that's going to allow him to perform a dodge check after an attack from an enemy, and it's going to get him +20 to his next attack. So again, another way to beef up our attack here. And then I also chose the Stormbrand Mastery, and the passive with that is no penalty for one-handed weapons. And as the claw is a one-handed fist weapon, we need to find a second one. Hopefully a second claw or a second fist weapon. So that's going to be one of our goals, is to find a second one so that we can use 2 one-handed weapons without a penalty. And I'm not quite sure how the combat goes with that. We'll have to figure that out when I get there, but I think it's going to be fun. It sounds like it should be pretty deadly. And the tier 1 ability with Stormbrand is Infused Weapon, which allows you to, at the cost of 4 Aether sustained, you can have +D4 air damage to your attacks, which gives us some magical damage, and I think that's really important to have in Ker Nethalas. I did a little bit of playing with Eddie the Razor after he died. I went ahead and ran through a few more rooms just to kind of see what was going on there, and I ran into some things that are very hard to take care of if you don't have magical damage. Okay, and onto his skills. I primarily went toward the unarmed combat, so he's starting off with 80 there. And then I'm putting a lot of points into acrobatics, athletics, dodge. You know, he's a very quick, agile, kind of shifty character, and also perception as well. And then for a backup weapon, we're going to have shafted weapons. Maybe he had some skill with spears in his training. And for the personal goals, we have Overseer Overthrown again, which we're going to be trying to overthrow an Overseer. And I need to actually go ahead and add a second one there. So let's see what we want for a personal goal for his second one there. Okay, well, we're going to go for the brawler, not surprisingly. So defeat 50 opponents with the unarmed combat and fist weapon skill. And that's going to give you a reward of +1 damage while wielding a fist weapon or completely unarmed. Now let's go on to rolling our stats. So health. Health's going to be d6 + 8. So we're going to start with 12 on the health. Toughness is going to be 2d6 + 10. +18 toughness. It's pretty good. Aether is d6 + 8. 6. 14 Aether. And sanity is d6 + 8. 4. And 12 sanity. Alright, next we're going to roll all of our supplies and money. And also we start with 1 torch. So let's go ahead and put the torch in our offhand there. And of course in our main hand we have our claw. Cooking supplies is going to be a d10 roll. We got a 1. Pretty low on the cooking supplies. And d10 + 5 for crafting supplies. 14. And money or coins, it's going to be a d20 and 15. Start with 15 coins. Okay, we are ready to enter the first room, which is the corpse pile. Because remember, we have been executed, and we did not, in fact, die from our execution. So we need to take some damage and sanity loss. And we're also going to have 1 exhaustion here. We're going to roll d6 direct damage. We rolled a 6. That's going to take us down to 12. And we're going to roll d4 sanity loss. 2. We're down to 10 sanity. So we are now in the corpse pile room. So let's see what this room is going to look like. We're going to generate our random room here. Okay, our first random map generation. I'm excited to see what we get here. 91. Let's see what 91 is. 91. That looks like a pretty good room there. I like the shape of that. We'll put that right in the middle. So there's our first room. We got 4 doors leading out. And we need to set up our tension and lair, and we also need to set up our overseer. So let's roll a d10 for the tension. We got a 5, so we'll stay at d10, and let's roll d12 for the lair. And 7, so we're going to stay there. And now our overseer. Alright, let's roll for our overseer. It's going to be a d10 roll. And we rolled a 9. That is the Pyroclasmic Possessor. And our Overseer influence is going to be Frenzied, plus 2 damage. So every enemy in this domain will deal plus 2 damage. And if we actually do make it to the Pyroclasmic Possessor, I will read the description whenever we reach him, if we ever do. Alright, now we have that set up. So let's begin dealing with what's in this room. So we need to determine if we're going to have an encounter or not, which is going to be a d20 roll. And we rolled a 5, so there will not be an encounter, but we'll roll for an event. We rolled a 50. And that's going to be the sudden toll of a bell fills the room and your mind. With a scream, you cover your ears and attempt to resist the psychic assault of the bell, which is nowhere to be seen. Make a resolve check. If you pass, you gain 20 XP as you manage to control the attack. If you fail, choose one. Roll on the growing darkness table or roll on the madness table. Okay, I have never rolled on the growing darkness table or the madness table, so even though those are a negative result, that would be interesting to see. But let's see if we can pass this resolve check and get 20 experience. And our resolve skill is 30. And we rolled a 15, so we have passed that check and we received 20 experience. So not a bad start for Jedd there. Now we can scavenge in the room here. So we're going to roll d20 for scavenging. And it's a 16. We're going to find d4 cooking supplies. And seeing as we started with 1, adding a little bit to our cooking supplies will be nice. So we rolled a 3. That's going to bring this up to 4. Okay, so we're going to choose which way we need to go here. And roll for our next room. $74. Okay, I have drawn the room. Not very pretty. And we need to check our door before we go in there. So that's going to be, I believe, a d20 roll to check if the door is locked. 4. So the door will be locked on a 12 plus, so the door is not locked. So we will walk through there. And we're into our second room. We're going to roll for our attention die and the lair. Attention die, we rolled a 1, so we're going to be dropping down to d8. And the lair, we're going to roll d12. And we roll a 6, so we'll stay there. Going to roll for combat. See if we have an encounter or not. 10. So on 10 plus there is an encounter. So let's roll to see if we are on table A or table B. We're going to be on table B, and we're going to roll d20 to determine which creature we're going to be engaging. 16, we're going to be engaging a Vinekin. Vinekin, let's see the Vinekin. Vinekin, it is unclear what the Vinekin, a plant-like humanoid species, is doing in Ker Nethalas. Their forms are a nightmarish tangle of writhing vines and thorny brambles that somehow form the outline of a humanoid shape. The Vinekin wield dark and chaotic powers, able to manipulate the corrupted plant life to ensnare and entrap their prey. They can summon tendrils and thorns to tear apart their enemies, but they seem to prefer direct physical combat. Many attempts at communicating with them have been made, but unfortunately they seem to be only interested in violence. A plant with a foul mood. So they are a humanoid plant. There's going to be one of them. They have 40 awareness. They have 5 health. Head is the weak point. And they have 1 armor on all body parts. And they have 30 combat skill and 30 magic resistance. I just realized that I forgot to roll the random armor, so we're going to do that now. On the we're going to roll a d20 on the random armor table, and we received a torso armor. So for torso armor, you need to roll d100 to determine what kind of material it's made from. 10 is going to give us a heavy cloth torso armor. So let's go ahead and add that here. So we now have a heavy cloth chest armor there. And let's see what heavy cloth is going to give us. That's going to give us an armor rating of 1. So +1 armor. And that's going to reduce our maneuverability by -5. Okay, so now we have our armor in place. We can engage in combat with the Vinekin, and we'll need to roll an initiative check. So let's see if we can beat the Vinekin's 40 awareness. We rolled 83 and the Vinekin rolled 10. So we would have 40 perception plus 10 for quickness, giving us 50. And we have failed our roll, and the Vinekin has succeeded in their roll, getting a 10. So the Vinekin will initiate their attack first. We're going to roll d6 to see what action they will do. 5, they're going to do Brutal Slam, which is physical. The Vinekin charges at a target, dealing d8 bludgeoning damage on a hit. Additionally, the target must succeed on an athletics check or be knocked prone as the Vinekin's brute force overpowers it. So we don't want to get knocked down. Let's roll d8. And we rolled an 8. Well, the Vinekin has rolled an 8. So we have 1 armor, and it will deal 7 damage to us. That's going to drop us down to 5. That was a big hit. Now we're going to roll an athletics check to see if we are knocked down. And that, I believe, is a 10. And what is our athletics? 40. So we have succeeded. We have passed that check. We will not be knocked down, but we still took a large blow there from the Vinekin. Okay, let's go to our turn here. Okay, guys, and I just realized that I forgot to roll for the actual attack of the Brutal Slam here. So we do still have a chance to defend here, which I forgot. So the Vinekin has rolled 32 and we have rolled 59, and we have a defense of 80 plus 10, so we have a defense of 90. So our check, we actually passed our defense check there. So we will in fact not be taking the 7 damage. So we're back to 12 toughness there. Now we'll roll Jedd's attack, and that is a 68, and the Vinekin rolled a 69. So the Vinekin has a combat skill of 30, and in this case our combat skill is going to be 80. So we have rolled successfully there. And let's determine how much damage. So we're going to be rolling d6 plus d4 with the fist weapon. So we've rolled a 3 and a 2. So that's going to give us 5. And if we put that on the damage table, that's going to mean 2 damage. So the Vinekin will suffer 2 damage. So we'll drop the Vinekin down to 3. Okay, next round. Let's see what attack they will do. 1. So this is going to be Thorn Lash. The Vinekin extends its arm, summoning sharp thorny vines to lash out at a target, dealing d6 piercing damage on a hit. So will they hit us? So the Vinekin has rolled 50, and their combat skill in this case is 40 because they have plus 10 for attack, but a 50 is going to be too high. We rolled a defense of 13, so that's a successful defense. And we will now also roll on the defensive moves table, which I believe we should have done the first time, but I forgot to do. That's going to be a d10 roll. We rolled a 0, which I believe is also a 10. And it says that our next attack doesn't suffer the usual minus 30 modifier to your attack skill when targeting a specific body part. If it's a monster or NPC, they are obligated to attempt to target a weak spot. Okay, so in this case we do have the option, but if you're not going to have the minus 30 modifier to targeting, we may as well target the head, so we will do that next round. So let's go for a blow to the head here, and we have rolled 47 and the Vinekin has rolled 79, so we have passed our check there, and that's going to be a blow to the head. Okay guys, I had to look that up there. So a hit to the head is going to be considered a critical hit, so our damage is doubled. So in this case we're going to be rolling 2d6 and 2d4. So that's going to give us 13, which on the damage table, 10, anything 10 plus is 4 damage. So we have vanquished the Vinekin, and that's going to give us 50 experience, and we can also roll on the spoils table. So that brings us up to 70. And let's roll for our spoils. So spoils is going to be a d6. We rolled a 5, which is going to give us a roll on the valuable items table. Well, that's very nice. So the valuable items table is a D20 roll, and we have rolled a 4. It's going to be a random potion, so I'm going to have to look that one up here. I'm guessing there is a random potion chart. Yes, so there are many different potions, and it's going to be a D20 roll. We have rolled a 6. That's going to give us a frenzy potion. For the next D6 rounds, you deal +2 D10 damage, but you're unable to defend in any way. Wow, so that's a lot of damage there. So we have picked up a frenzy potion. So that's going to be D6 rounds. You get +2 D10 damage. But you can't defend. Alright. Well, I believe that is my first ever potion in Ker Nethalas. Alright, so we have completed that combat. It went fairly well. Okay, and also after combat, you can roll 1d4 of toughness healing. So we rolled a 4. Very nice. That's going to bring us up to 16. And we also need to check our armor integrity. We did take one. Oh no, we did not take any damage to the cloth. That's right. I had a mistaken attack there. So let's roll for our next room. And we rolled a 40. So, and room 40 is a dead end, but I think that's okay. So here we are in our third room, and I believe this is going to be a good place to stop for today. So all in all, we've had a pretty good adventure here. Things have been going pretty well for Jedd. And right now there's a little bit of hope for him that he's going to have some success in the necropolis. So please join me next time as we delve into the deep dark necropolis. Thank you very much for watching.